Today I'm going to say something that I did say during the retreat. So if you're going to the retreat next week, you will hear it again, but with much more detail. Today we're going to talk about food, in fact. That's it. Because the retreat is mostly about food. And the way we watch people eating, I enjoy doing that from the back. I look at the way people eat, what they like, what they don't like, how they eat, and that teaches you a lot. So I did enjoy looking at the women eating this and that. We start by this because, we enjoy eating what we're used to. It's a fact, no? So if you've constantly been given potatoes, at the end you will enjoy your potatoes. Is it not a great satisfaction when the new potatoes arrive? So is in the South. They say, that's the new potatoes. And as if, sometimes I am invited with people and they give me the new potatoes. It's new potatoes. It's completely different. But to them it's like a big thing. Or bread. When you eat your brown bread, or bread with seeds, I wonder, are they not the same seeds that you give to the birds? And why would you put them in the bread? Because are we supposed to eat what birds eat? Because that's the New World Order. We're going to insects the next time. We start with seeds, and we're going to insects. These are just hints. People who need to understand. But you do enjoy your brown bread. We could see it. The ladies, I gave it twice. Just, keep them down. With a lot of butter on. Their cabbage, they love it. You get used to that food because it's given to you constantly and you enjoy it at the end, even though there's not much of a taste. Anyway. Tell me what is the taste of boiled vegetables? But you enjoy that because that's the way it is here. We give them to sick people in hospital, boiled vegetables. But that's the way. But you do enjoy them because that's the way it is. It's been always like that, and you eat boiled vegetables, you eat your cabbage, you eat your bacon, you eat your whatever, and you enjoy that. Like the Chinese enjoy their rice, the Orientals. I was there, I told you, they love their rice. But like rice without anything whatsoever, they eat it like this. Not even oil or butter, just boiled. Then we wouldn't even give it to animals like that in Italy. But they do enjoy it. And you show them something else. I went to Malaysia in a restaurant and there were aubergines there. So I said, nice aubergines. And they were nice looking. But then taste. I said, if only they could put some tomato sauce here, some herbs, they would make it much better. But they're not looking for it, because that's the way they eat it. Now you say, what are we going to talk about? Food all the time now? Yes. So you know what to cook. But I just want to help you to understand something that if I say that immediately, it wouldn't be so clear. So with this image, it might become clearer. So we get used to whatever it is. If it's given to us so many times, so often, we get used to it. Even if it's not as good as it could be, it doesn't really matter because we get used to it and we enjoy what it is. And we don't want to change really because we're happy to keep going. I can say the same for myself about pasta. No? That we eat pasta twice a day in Italy. I'm very strict about it. More than I am about than and I am about religion in fact, but there are limits for me about eating pasta. It is completely natural, not because we've been subjected to something for so long that we're used to it, we enjoy it, even if it's not good at the end of the day. Tell me what is good in eating pure rice. I don't know. And I tell you, they eat that rice wrapped in banana leaves, a bit sticky and sugary, and they enjoy that as a sweet. And I told them, can we get a triple chocolate cake in this part of the world? Have you not invented the triple chocolate cake here? Do we really have to eat rice, sweetened rice every day? Can we not evolve? But they enjoyed that much more than the triple chocolate cake or ice cream. Well, the same works in different aspects of our life and also for our faith. We're nourished in our faith with some food. And this food is the Mass. The Mass is offered to us, to God, of course, but to us, to assist us, to take part in, even every day. You see? Some people can go to Mass every single day. So the Mass is somehow food for our faith, because in the Mass there's the teaching of our Catholic faith throughout the year. The Masses that we go to and assist at, they're supposed to teach us something. And by going to Mass, we learn our faith. This is the way God wanted it to be, the way the Church has developed throughout the centuries. Because you don't have baptisms every day, you don't have confirmations every day, you don't have ordinations every day, you don't have marriages every day, but you do have the Mass every day. And so you're supposed to learn from the Mass. And your faith grows accordingly from what you learn. So this was clear in the mind of those who changed the Mass 50, 60 years ago. It was very, very clear. They didn't need to say anything about it. They just needed to change it in such a way that would have nourished the people with a different food, and their faith would have grown in a different direction. Imagine you have a little child, and from now on you just cook Italian. The little child will grow up and tell you boiled vegetables are for sick people. Or something like that. I want pizza. Something, It's not. And it works with the Master. So after 50 years of a new Mass, people have grown into another faith, different from the one that was before. So the old Mass teaches us something. It's like the steak compared to the bland and purely boiled rice. It's harder to chew, but it is much nicer and much more nourishing than the other one. It's in Latin, so it's more difficult. But if we have the tools, like the books, we get through and understand it. And then we learn our faith from the Mass. What do we learn? For example, today, if you wanted to read it, the prayer that the priest has said says this: Almighty Eternal God, grant us the increase of faith, hope and charity, and that we may deserve to obtain what thou dost promise. Make us to love what thou dost command. What does it mean? It means that we should love the commandments of God, and by loving God's commandments, we put them into practice, and by doing so, we obtain what He promised, that is heaven. It's already some element of our faith in those few words. The Old Mass teaches the whole faith, Catholic faith, and mostly then what also is the meaning of the Mass in itself. And people grow stronger in their faith by simply going to Mass. They don't need to know much more about it. They just learn and assimilate by the fact that they are at Mass. What do you learn if you go to the traditional Mass? Well, you learn that there on the altar there's going to be God. And how do you know that? Well, because when you go to communion, you go on your knees. When you receive the host, the Blessed Sacrament, you receive Him on your tongue. You don't dare to touch Him with your hands. So that must be something extremely important, of great dignity, and a lot of honor should be its owed to it. Because we do all these things just to approach the Blessed Sacrament. In the new Mass, they've taken away the genuflection. Everyone can touch the Blessed Sacrament. Anyone can distribute the Blessed Sacrament. So the faith of people is nourished in a different manner. And they grow up thinking it might not be God. It might not be God. Because I can touch Him so easily. They threw Him here and there. They don't care. Just by going to Mass, people, without even knowing it, they grow up instructed in a faith with beliefs. But after 50 years, those going to the new Mass without knowing it have grown into a new faith. And how do we know that? Well, because we have eyes to see. No? You just go down the road and you see it by yourselves. You just talk to people and you see that they don't share the same beliefs that you do have. I hope you do. In the commandments of God. Just yesterday I was reading, for example, that the Archbishop of Berlin in Germany said that he would not personally bless a same-sex couple, but he would do nothing to the priest who would do it in his diocese. If a priest decided to do it, he would not intervene. And he would bless that couple if the Vatican told him so. That gives you the idea. Can the Vatican tell to bless a couple of 2 men or 2 women? Of course not. God's law cannot be changed even by the Pope, unfortunately. It's unchangeable. And will be so forever. So this Archbishop of Berlin said so. He grew up with his new faith, he celebrates with his new Mass, and he teaches a new religion. Is he Catholic? I leave it to you. Is he more Catholic than us? I leave it to you. But this is the effect of 50 years of a new diet. There you are. The food. They changed the diet. They changed the faith of people. So keep that in mind. when you look down the road into those churches, to those people, they don't know better. They've just been given that food for 50 years. It is those who make that food originally that are seriously culpable and guilty of great sin. But we will all be judged with the same rules. Our Lord Jesus Christ is not going to say, well, he was a Muslim, he was a Jew, he was a Protestant, he was a Catholic, he was non-Orthodox. So let us change the commandments accordingly. We'll all be judged with the same rules, the same laws. So in the Gospel we read today that our Lord has healed 10 lepers. Well, consider yourselves healed, because you have been eating that insipid, bland, boiled rice for as long as, I don't know, as long as you have not been to traditional Mass. Then you were proposed to eat steak. You tried it and you enjoyed it by the grace of God. Because some people are so corrupt that even when they're given steak, they don't enjoy it and they want to go back to their bland, insipid rice. So even the fact that when you did enjoy your steak, the traditional Mass, is because of the grace of God. So consider yourselves as those 10 healed lepers of the Gospel today. But only one came back and thanked God. Only one expresses his gratitude for the great grace received. But I hope that you are not the 9 who don't go back, but you are like the one who goes back and thanks God for the grace received. God has chosen you, has given you what you needed to understand, and now what He's telling you is just, don't go back to rice. Keep your steak and your triple chocolate cake. You need good teeth. As I said, it might be hard to chew, but it nourishes you in the best way possible. When you present yourself one day in the judgment to our Lord Jesus Christ, you will have had all the tools throughout your life to get there safe. And that, it is already an extraordinary grace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.